A bizarre case in South Alabama. A man murdered, then his body torn to pieces. Now there's an arrest in the case, and the suspect was caught in Elmore County. It's been called the second largest dogfighting case in U.S. history, and it was busted in our area. We'll take you live to the federal courthouse where the suspects were sentenced. And ready for Christmas shopping? Some people are already knocking out their to shop for list.
Live, local, now. This is WSFA 12 News at 5.
Man's best friend used for crimes. I'm Valerie Lawson.
I'm Mark Bullock. The second largest dogfighting ring in U.S. history busted right here in Alabama.
Today, the suspects learned their fate, and this afternoon, those who prosecuted them spoke out about the crimes and punishment. WSFA 12 News reporter Bethany Davis is live at the Montgomery Federal Courthouse. Bethany?
Hey, Val, in addition to this being the second largest dogfighting ring ever in the country, this case is significant because today an Auburn man is now facing 8 years in prison for his role as the ringleader that spans several southeastern states. And that is the longest term ever handed down in a federal dogfighting case. Now, as I said, it spanned several states in the southeast. We're talking about Texas, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Tennessee, in addition to Alabama. More than 450 dogs were rescued from what has been described as barbaric conditions. Puppies tied to chains that weigh more.
Happening now.
This was a violent act, and it was an act that happened over a period of time.
Today, authorities revealed new details about human remains found in South Alabama and the person of interest located in Millbrook.
Level of planning, in fact, that was scary to us.
Team 12 coverage as residents in the Millbrook neighborhood react to the arrest.
It bothers me because knowing him in the neighborhood.
State Department of Education ramping up for the legislative session that's never short on issues that impact Alabama schools.
How do you know the used car you're buying hasn't been wrecked or damaged? It's not as easy as you might think. Tonight, the 12 News Defenders have some advice. Welcome to WSFA 12 News at 6 tonight. A man located in Millbrook is accused of killing and dismembering his stepfather. Good evening. I'm Mark Bullock.
And I'm Valerie Lawson. The body parts were discovered in Baldwin County in southwest Alabama. The suspect tracked down in Elmore County last night.
His name, William Minton, and he is charged with murder and abuse of a corpse. Officials believe the victim, 87-year-old Kenneth Hood, was killed in the home that he shared with his wife, Ann Minton. During a news conference today, law enforcement officials revealed the victim died from blunt force trauma. They believe Hood, you see here, was murdered Thursday or Friday. Parts of his body began showing up in creeks on Sunday. A pacemaker helped investigators identify him as the victim. A search of his...
Happening now.
A near freezing night expected with even colder weather on the way. We take a look at how we're handling the cold in Alabama as the same system hits other parts of the country. For those without a home, they have no choice but to deal with the cold.
It can be life or death for some people.
The dust left behind shows it's dry in Tallapoosa County. A severe drought is in the making. And a family counting on their faith to thrive. We introduce you to another Families of the Year nominee.
Live, local, now. This is WSFA 12 News at 5.
Happening now, temperatures are dropping and we're heading into the 20s tonight. So get ready for those freezing temperatures. Good evening, everyone. I'm Valerie Lawson. Some of the coldest air we've seen so far is on its way to Alabama. Over the next few days, you'll definitely need your heaters and your jackets. Chief Meteorologist Rich Thomas is tracking the cold weather. He's live at our weather radio programming event in Eclectic. Rich?
That's right, and we've sold a lot of weather radios today as we get people ready for the severe weather season in the fall. But I'll tell you what, besides the 87, 88 weather radios that they've sold, they're selling a whole bunch of these, and these are insulators for your faucet. People are getting ready for temperatures in the 20s tonight and temperatures in the 20s tomorrow night. Let's take a look at temperatures around the area right now. Most temperatures are in the 40s around the viewing area at the moment, but we do have a couple of exceptions. It's 39 in Albany.
Happening now.
Struggling schools.
The reality that I heard early this morning is, do we turn the heat on or do we not turn the heat on?
State education leaders work to lay out a plan to help increase funding. Disturbing allegations in Daleville.
He's been friends with the family of these children, these juveniles, for many years. He's known them ever since they were practicing.
Authorities try to get to the bottom of a potential child prostitution and sexual abuse case.
The Montgomery Regional Airport is seeing more travelers than it has in years.
Live, local, now. This is WSFA 12 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Valerie Lawson. Mark is off tonight. The weather prompting a tough decision by some schools across the state whether to turn on the heat. It's an issue because of tight budgets. Today, the State Board of Education and Superintendent held their first budget meeting. They plan to ask for a significant increase in funding to help struggling schools. WSFA 12 News anchor Sally Pitts has the new information.
Dr. Tommy Bice wants another $227 million added to the education budget. He says it's not a wishes and dreams plan, but the basics.
The reality that I heard early this morning is, do we turn the heat on or do we not turn the heat on? I mean, that's a regretful place to be.
Sacrifices are part of every day for teachers in classrooms across Alabama. Dr. Bice isn't pointing fingers. Instead, he says he has come up with a plan to work with lawmakers and the...
Happening now.
The battle for the SEC West goes through Tuscaloosa. We take you live to T-Town as the Tide prepares to welcome the #1 Bulldogs. Auburn headed to Georgia, preparing to take on another set of Bulldogs in the Deep South's oldest rivalry. What would you do if you woke up to smoke or flames in your home? Tonight, what you and your family should know. And a playground built in one day in Montgomery. Find out who's behind it in a live report.
Live, local, now. This is WSFA 12 News at 5.
One of the biggest football games this weekend will be played in Tuscaloosa when Alabama and Mississippi State hit the field. Thanks for joining us. I'm Valerie Lawson. Tide fans aren't the only ones heading to Bryant-Denny Stadium this weekend. Bulldog fans are settling in as well. Joining us live from Tuscaloosa, WSFA 12 News reporter Brian Henry. And Brian, I understand you ran into a Mississippi State fan with an unusual background.
Valerie, listen to this. Roger Carter was born in Mississippi. He currently lives in Auburn, and his wife roots for Alabama. Talk about a house divided.
This year's, it's just going to be a good year. I just can't wait till the game starts.
Carter admitted he is pleasantly surprised with Mississippi State's success so far this year, and he's not the only one. Who would have guessed that tomorrow's game would be so big with so much at stake? Roger Carter feels that in some ways, believe it or not, right now.
Happening now.
Last night was very cold. Tonight could actually be a few degrees colder. We'll tell you how low it'll go.
The Dothan school superintendent accused of sexual harassment.
I think the process is flawed. I think the cards were stacked, and that's the way I feel.
The school board today deciding whether to terminate him. Hundreds of volunteers are coming together to build a playground for Montgomery children. We're live with an update on the construction. And it's a big showdown tomorrow in Tuscaloosa. #1 Mississippi State takes on #5 Alabama. We're on campus with fans getting ready for kickoff.
Live, local, now. This is WSFA 12 News at 6.
Happening right now, it is bitter cold outside. Those temperatures have arrived. A very cold Friday night awaits football players and fans. Good evening, everyone. I'm Valerie Lawson. Mark is off tonight. It's cold right now, and it's going to get even colder as temperatures will continue to drop. Fans heading out to football games will need extra layers of clothes and a heavy coat, maybe even a blanket. Chief Meteorologist Rich Thomas is live in the Storm Center with the frigid forecast. Rich?
Hey, Val, I think if you're going to one of those area high school games tonight, I mean, this is a night when you definitely want to dress in layers. I mean, a sweatshirt's just not going to cover it. We're going to start off in the 30s and fall to near freezing by the end of those games. All right, now I want to take you to Troy, where we're at 41 degrees right now, but that temperature is coming from a thermometer that's pretty elevated. I think you get closer to the surface, and temperatures are already right now.
Happening now.
A night of storms in South Alabama. Details on the damage left behind. The freezing weather we're facing is wreaking havoc to our north. How states are dealing with what's proving to be a deadly Arctic blast. Hundreds of thousands of dollars coming to an Elmore County community to improve dozens of homes. And there's a science behind advertising for Black Friday sales. We have the strategies being used to get your money this season.
Live, local, now. This is WSFA 12 News at 5.
Already near freezing today after a night of severe weather. This is a look at Troy through our Alpha camera. Tonight we get you ready for the frigid weather still to come. Good evening, everyone. I'm Valerie Lawson. What a rocky start to a Monday. WSFA 12 News was first on, and our team kept you up to date all night and early this morning as strong storms sparked tornado warnings in several counties in South Alabama. Already a tornado has been confirmed in Pike County, and there is also significant damage in Crenshaw County, which may later be determined to be caused by a tornado as well. WSFA 12 News reporter Bethany Davis has this breaking news update.
It was very scary.
Stephanie Trotter and her family were still in bed, but already aware of danger.
Now.
Wetumpka's police department has been at the center of controversy for months. Now the city is looking to hire a new law enforcement leader. We're live at the meeting happening now.
The Elmore County School Board working to replace longtime school superintendent Jeff Langham. A live report on that search.
Severe weather leaves its mark on Alabama.
Pretty loud. I just heard all this stuff going off the porch. Then I heard some other things that, like I guess was breaking down.
Weather officials and residents survey the damage.
Live, local, now. This is WSFA 12 News at 6.
Happening now, Wetumpka leaders discussing the future of law enforcement in the city. Good evening, I'm Mark Bullock.
And I'm Valerie Lawson. The mayor and city council expected to vote on and name a new chief tonight.
This vote comes after a big shakeup with top brass in Wetumpka. Controversy involving the ouster of the chief of police. Live now with the breaking news update is WSFA 12 News reporter Lindsay Rogers. Lindsay, tell us tell us a little bit more about this council meeting tonight.
Well, Mark, it has been a bumpy few months for the Wetumpka police force, and city leaders tonight are set to vote on a new top cop to take the reins of the department. The city has interviewed 4 candidates in their search for a new police chief. We know the former chief, Celia Dixon, was placed on leave in July while the city investigated claims by officers of inappropriate behavior by department leadership, which